Good morning, D-Gens. What's going on? What is going on? How's everybody doing out there today? Hopefully good. Hopefully good. Little bit of a sideways kind of day, guys. I think we will end up seeing some volatility a little bit later this afternoon. We do have a weekly close in about 4 hours and 45 minutes. So I think that the Bulls and Bears will come out to fight a little bit later. Having a look at JASMY here, guys. You guys know what it is. I've showed you guys this 100 times. The breakout is imminent, guys. Well, we've already confirmed the breakout. I shouldn't say it's imminent. We've already confirmed it. We have 3 touch points. We have our breakout here. We have our retest. Now we are getting ready for liftoff, guys. We will eventually make our way back up to the 4 cent 4 level. And we'll see what we can do from there, right? That local high, that's what we're targeting. But we may have a little rest stop right here in this golden pocket that I have lined out for you guys here. I think that's likely. We'll come up there. We'll finally get above the 200-day SMA. We'll consolidate inside of here before continuing to the upside. It's kind of what I'm watching right now. Bitcoin right now still consolidating sideways as well. But in an upward, we're setting higher lows every day. Every day we're setting higher lows here, right? Higher lows. But we're rejecting off of this resistance level at 91,800. Right? 4 days, 5 days. Today will be 5 days in a row unless the bulls can push us up to close this daily candle above this level. We may actually come down a little bit. So yeah. Sorry about that. I was just getting a message from Wes actually about our live stream tonight at 8 o'clock. You know, the Onyx Coin live stream. We have that tonight at 8 every Sunday, guys. Me and Wes. Wes is the Onyx Coin ambassador. So yeah. So that's what I'm looking for on BTC, guys. We will be around a little bit later to monitor the weekly close. That's going to be very, very big, guys. But no matter how you slice it, we're going to have a very good weekly close on multiple projects. Sorry, some reason I'm getting messages on Telegram like crazy suddenly. I don't know what's up with that. Anyway, let's go have a look across the broader crypto market. BTC is kind of pulling things down a little bit right now. XRP correcting, still at $1.04. Now, for me, guys, XRP to continue to the upside, XRP has to stay above 95 cents. Okay, so we're well above that. If we close the week at $1.04, that is huge. That is a huge weekly close on XRP. KASPA, 4.2% up on the day. Volume is up. KASPA's looking good, 15 cents. JASMY down 6.2%. I keep getting asked by people, when's a good entry point for JASMY? Right now is a good entry point on JASMY. It's not financial advice, but I mean, for crying out loud, it's down 6.2% on the day, 11.9% on the week. It's a pretty good entry point. You're not going to find much better, right? So if you're looking for an entry point or a top-off point, it's right about now is pretty good. KASPA and Miria are carrying my bags today. Miria's up 5.1%. And then we got some outliers today. Glimmer, Moonbeam, Casper, and Farm are just crushing it. Solana put in a new all-time high yesterday, I think. Absolutely amazing there. Absolutely amazing, man. So, yeah, I mean, but it is a good DCA day. Quant, picking up some more Quant at $78, not a bad idea. Corium's having a pullback because Corium was up over 100% yesterday, man. It was crazy. Same thing with Flare. Where's Flare? Flare down 9.2%. Flare and Corium, they were running freaking big with XRP. So yeah, absolutely. But it's a good DCA day, guys. You're not going to have very many more days like this. You're running out of time to stuff your bag. So I'm getting asked a lot by people, when's a good time to DCA? right now is a good time because you're not going to get much better prices than you have right now. Just so you guys know, put your questions, comments, concerns into the chat. I will get to the chat the second half of the stream, guys, as I always do. So put your stuff over there. I will get to it. I'm not ignoring you. Office Hours, Stuart Alderati. If you guys don't know, Office Hours is this little show that Gary Gensler puts together every once in a while to gaslight the crypto community, right? So Stuart Alderati asks, the Department of Government Efficiency, the DOGE, Elon department, he says, subject inquiry into wasted tax dollars. Could you please provide an estimate on how much taxpayer money has been wasted on these videos that Gary Gensler is making? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Fire this man. Fire this man. He's wasting taxpayer dollars. All right. What else do we have? Algorand Foundation. Algorand is leading the way for compliant digital assets in Europe. So Coinbase is actually delisting stablecoins in Europe that don't comply with the MICAR regulations, like USDT Tether. So apparently Tether is not in compliance in Europe. So Algorand will be delisting it. Two MICAR compliant options are available, however, to over 450 million Europeans, guys. The USDC stablecoin by Circle and they say enjoy instant finale. The number 2 is the Euro D, so EURD by Quanso, I guess, is a stablecoin out there in Europe. So those are the 2 stablecoins that are going to be sticking around on Coinbase in Europe if you are in Europe. So there you go. Nothing to be worried about. Just make sure you get out of Tether, right? Moving on. Bitcoin Archive. I regret selling Bitcoin. Honestly, I think about it all, the Bitcoin I sold, how much I had a bunch in my funds, and that's a $3 to $4 billion mistake. I shouldn't have sold. Don't be this guy.
It's more exciting for you personally.
Honestly, you know what I think about? I actually think about all the Bitcoin I sold.
Oof. Yeah,
I had Bitcoin. I had a bunch of Bitcoin in my funds when I managed outside capital. That's a $3 or $4 billion mistake and growing now because my partners at the time capitulated and I wanted to be a good team member and we distributed and it was profitable, but obviously I shouldn't have sold it. Would have made them a lot more money. And then I think about I bought some land.
I remember
Lake Tahoe.
that. Yeah.
It was in the Wall Street Journal. I'm sure you can find it, but
yeah,
how much is that worth now? Probably a couple $100 million, maybe more.
Rough trade. But you do have Bitcoin holdings.
Chamath,
so
can I ask you a question? Why do you say sold Bitcoin as opposed to converted Bitcoin into dollars? Like when you think about Bitcoin, just as a participant, do you think about Bitcoin as a dollar-denominated asset that you go and buy Bitcoin and then you're eventually going to sell it, turn it back into dollars and use the dollars? Or are you what do you think about the purest kind of idea that Bitcoin should be the de facto currency and store of value in the future and the dollar doesn't matter? And we shouldn't necessarily be talking about the value of Bitcoin in dollar-denominated terms as something I'm going to eventually turn it back into.
It hasn't happened yet. And so until it happens, I think you have to view it as a very good gold proxy. But it's a largely dollar-denominated asset.
Now, why do you see it going the other way? So a lot of folks thought that as a safe haven, it should do well when there's a negative economic outlook, but it has traded the last couple of years kind of the opposite.
Totally correlated. No, it's a totally correlated asset. I mean,
yeah,
there will be a point, and it's probably in our lifetime, where it is an independent asset and a non-speculative store of value. There will be that day, but that day is not now. And I think it's very important to see the conditions on the field as they are versus what you wish it to be. And the reason is that it allows you to risk manage more appropriately. Because if you don't see it, then when something happens to the dollar complex, good or bad, or when something happens to rates, good or bad, or when something stimulative happens, good or bad, you're not going to react properly if you're in the business of managing it as a risk asset. So if you're in the set it and forget it bucket, and there are some people, I think it's great. None of these conversations matter. But like most people, you're probably going to be motivated to do something. And I think if you're motivated to do something, or you have FOMO that stimulates you to do something, whatever the psychology is that leads you to action, it's probably important to just view things as they really are versus how you wish them to be. And so I think the purists may eventually be right. I think they will be right at some point in my lifetime, but they're not right now. And that's why these things are correlated. And you should act appropriately. The other thing I'll say just broadly about the market is I think that there's a tremendous amount of optimism about the economy. I think that's why you see risk spreads get crushed.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I think that as long as we see the kind of prognostications that the Trump administration is putting out, I think people are going to be mostly bullish. I think the way that this trade turns around,
I agree with him, and there's something that just Bitcoin maxis need to understand it, and it's not just Bitcoin maxis; it's like crypto people in general. That you get a certain tier of people, and they are set on this concept that crypto, any crypto, whether it's Bitcoin or XRP or KASPA or whatever it is, that somehow that their favorite project is going to replace the dollar. No crypto is going to replace the dollar, guys. I'm sorry to rain on that parade, but Bitcoin's not going to be, a replacement for the dollar. It's just not, right? It is what it is. It's fantastic. I hold it. I'm going to hold it until it gets to $1 million. But the closest we're going to get to a digital asset replacing the dollar is a CBDC of some sort, right? We're not going to get some random altcoin like KASPA or XRP or even Bitcoin is not suddenly going to come in and replace the US dollar. It's not going to happen, right? There's just these people that they're nuts, and they get into these spirals, right? And it's just, anyway. Rect Capital says BTC has only just begun its parabolic phase in the cycle. Historically, this phase has lasted on average 300 days. Bitcoin is only on day 12 of its parabolic phase. So we are just getting started, you guys. We are just getting started. Let that sink in. Bitcoin spot ETFs bought around 20,560 BTC this week, while only 3,150 were minted. Do you see what I'm saying, guys? Do you see it? Only 3,150 Bitcoin were mined, were brought into existence, okay? Only 3,150. 20,560 were scooped up out of circulation. I keep saying that the supply and demand factor is going to come into play here. And again, I get some people who scoff at me and they say, we're not going to run out of Bitcoin to be able to buy. At that rate, yes, you are. Yes, you are. But the numbers don't lie, right? More Bitcoin is being taken out of circulation than is being mined on a weekly, daily, monthly basis, right? Eventually, that leads to, guess what? There is no more available, right? So that's why I'm buying as much as I can of it, especially in the bear markets, and I don't sell. I'm holding till my Bitcoin reaches $1 million a coin. And everyone over on our Patreon, the mission is to make everybody a whole coiner, right? So that we can for sure make sure everyone becomes at least a millionaire, right? Ash Crypto says the biggest alt season will start within 4 to 6 weeks. Altcoin market cap 2-week MACD is approaching the golden cross for the first time since 2023. Last time it happened, altcoins market cap pumped 300%. Be ready for a 100x altcoin season. We are primed for liftoff, guys. That's what I said. Probably the beginning of January, the end of December. That's when altcoin season's really going to start to kick in. Price action with altcoins that you're seeing right now, guys, is not altcoin season. That's just altcoins are starting to catch up with what Bitcoin's been doing lately. That's all that is. They're being pulled up by Bitcoin. Some of them take a while to catch up. Like not all of them have popped off yet, but eventually most of them end up having their pumps. And then they're setting, what are they doing? They're setting higher consolidation levels, right? Like XRP is a perfect example. It pumped up over 100%, and now it's consolidating around $1.04, right? When it was at like 50, 60 cents before this, right? So now it's setting that. So when altcoin season kicks in, right, when we actually start to see the parabolic part of altcoin season, projects like that, like XRP, for example, that have been consolidating around $1.04 now, well, their parabolic run starts at $1.04 as opposed to 50 cents. You see what I'm saying? Why these prices are going to go absolutely crazy? And it's the same thing for a lot of the altcoins, right? A lot of them, probably 90% of them, right? The only altcoins that are not going to do as well, they're all going to pump to some degree. The only ones that are not going to do as well in an altcoin season, and I've said this before, are projects that either the team abandoned the project in the bear market, they didn't do any developing or new partnerships, new collaborations, there's nothing new going on with the project, or they completely watered down the supply and circulation throughout the bear market, like Sandbox or HBAR. They really dumped a lot of coins into circulation, so it's going to be harder for those projects to get to their last all-time high, let alone new all-time highs. That doesn't mean they won't. That just means it'll be harder, right? So in saying that, that's why most altcoins, like I see people talking about some altcoins and they're like, well, like take XCN for example. Okay, I talk about it every Sunday with Wes. We'll talk about it tonight in the live stream. But people often ask me, can XCN get back to its all-time high? Well, considering this is its first bull run, right? They did not water down the supply and circulation at all, really, right? Yeah, they can. They've actually done a lot of developing throughout the bear market and stuff. They absolutely can get it back to the all-time high because, like, here's some perspective for you guys. Okay, think about it this way. XRP over the last, just yesterday, okay, it went from just under a $50 billion market cap to a $65 billion market cap in one day, right? $15 billion went into XRP's market cap in one day, and that's a large cap. Okay, that's a big cap gem, right? XCN it has like what's the market cap of XCN, right? So to say to me that XCN throughout an entire parabolic part of an altcoin season can't get a $3, $4, $5 billion market cap when XRP did it in one day, did 15 billion. You're telling me in an entire bull run, an entire blow off top altcoin season parabolic run, Onyx Coin can't hit a $3 or $4 billion market cap? You're crazy. You're crazy if you think that, in my opinion, right? Absolutely. Anyway, moving on. What else do we got? Okay, so Brian Brooks, guys. Now listen, this guy here is one of the people being considered to run the SEC moving forward. So let's see, what do you guys think of Brian Brooks?
So the characteristic of Web 1, if people remember their original AOL account, was an ability to look in a curated walled garden at a set of content that was not interactive, but was presented to you on AOL the way that Time Magazine used to show you the articles they wanted you to see inside of their magazine. Just you could see it on a screen. The innovation of Web 2 was that suddenly you could not only read content, but you could also write content. This is when the blogosphere became a big thing. People remember this from the late 90s, the early 2000s. The reason for the centralization of the internet, of course, was that all of that activity was being monetized by a very small number of companies. Facebook, as the chairwoman mentions, Google, and 2 or 3 other companies. What makes Web3 different is the ability to own the actual network. And that's what crypto assets themselves represent, is an ownership stake in an underlying network. So when you hear people talk about, for example, layer 1 tokens, what they mean is this is your reward for providing the ledger maintenance services, the computing power to the network that on Web 1 and 2 was done by Google, right? So now people in my hometown of Pueblo, Colorado can actually own the Ethereum network, but they can't own the internet. That's owned by Google and a few other companies. That's what the project of crypto is all about, is allowing people to directly own the networks that have native assets that are supporting it. And that's the nature of decentralization, where the token holders are the people who control the asset, not
the
Google.
Token holders, for our language here on the Hill, those are digital assets, right? Which are the keys to open up the ledger for you to participate, right?
Correct.
So describe to us how those digital assets fit into this internet revolution, Web3.
So the concept is that you have sort of application layer tokens and you have protocol layer tokens. So if I'm an owner of Bitcoin, let's say that I'm a miner of Bitcoin, somebody who actually creates Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is the reward I receive for doing the work to keep the network operational. And that allows me to own a piece of the Bitcoin blockchain. Or take Ethereum, which is easier to understand. The Ether token represents an ownership stake in the network. But on top of that network are all kinds of apps that get built on the network, much like the apps on your phone depend on the underlying network existing that lets the phone operate. And so people will make judgments about which network is likely to win, and they will invest in the tokens in that network much the same way you might invest in Google stock because you think Google is going to scale access to the original internet. The difference being here, you can vote on what happens in the future of a proof of stake network, for example. You can get rewarded through a proof of work token for maintaining a ledger on something like Bitcoin. But the real message here is that what happens on the decentralized internet is decided by the investors, versus what happens on the main internet is decided by Twitter, Facebook, Google, and a small number of other companies.
Okay, so getting this layer on digital assets right, for Congress to understand this, everything is built upon that on-ramp to this new internet. So very important for us to be sensitive to how this develops and any actions we take in terms of laws and updating laws to incorporate these new technologies.
Yeah, Mr. McHenry, couldn't agree more. And I think when you hear about all of the problems of different big tech companies, the importance of an owner-controlled network becomes clear.
He's very, very pro crypto, guys. And what's more important than that is that he understands blockchain technology, right? So for me, this is a fantastic pick to run the SEC, in my opinion. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that Brian Brooks is a good SEC option? Let me know, guys. Let me know. All right, what else do we got? Let's get into one of these articles, guys. How long will Bitcoin's price continue to climb? Analytics company gives data from price model. Renowned cryptocurrency analyst firm Alpha Actual, never heard of them, has released its latest market assessment, drawing attention to a striking pattern in Bitcoin's price movements. The company recently explained that Bitcoin has been following a 4-year fractal cycle since 2015. According to them, this cycle consists of 4 distinct phases: accumulation, which is increased uptrend, distribution, and bear market downtrend. That lasts about a year. The precision of this model has made it extraordinarily accurate, effectively predicting the tops and bottoms of each cycle. Based on the ongoing cycle, they predict that the next cycle top will occur between October 12th of next year, approximately 11 months from now, following 12th to 16th, sorry. Following this, the potential bottom is expected to be between October 4th and 14th of 2026, which, guys, if you're over on the Patreon with me, we will be starting building the base of our brand new portfolios for the next cycle around October of 2026, right? So a year after the top of this bull run, we are going to start to accumulate, right? And start building for the next bull run. So make sure you guys are here for that. The firm argues that Bitcoin is currently in the bullish phase of the cycle, a period characterized by growth and opportunity. We're still in the middle of a bullish phase with months of potential growth and opportunity ahead, the statement said. They emphasized the importance of fractal analysis, the methodology rooted in academic research and widely applied to financial markets. They argue that Bitcoin is a unique and fascinating case. for this methodology, exhibiting a level of predictability rarely seen in volatile markets. I would agree. Because they're talking about the 4-year cycle here, guys, and I am a big proponent of the 4-year cycle. So, all right, what else do we got here? Warren Buffett owned Brazilian bank Nubank has launched a Bitcoin and USDC swap. Nubank has 100 million customers in Latin America. You'll love to see it, guys. You'll love to see it. All right, courtesy Thinking Crypto, Tony Edwards talking with Matt Hogan, CIO at Bitwise, shares his thoughts on what Vanguard may do next after missing out on the explosive growth of the big spot Bitcoin ETF.
Matt, do you think the folks at Vanguard are kicking themselves like we effed up here?
They're going to get there eventually. Tony, as you know, I come from the ETF space. Vanguard today is one of the largest ETF providers in the world. But in the early days of ETFs, they were very skeptical. They hated them. They talked about them harming investors. They eventually got there. They're going to eventually get there on Bitcoin as well. They aren't the only person to take a skeptical initial view and then eventually convert. BlackRock, 2017, Larry Fink called Bitcoin an index of money laundering. Yeah. Today, they're one of the more powerful forces in this industry. So, we'll let Vanguard cook. They'll get there eventually.
Vanguard done messed up, man. Vanguard done messed up. All right, we got... all right, so this is for Bitcoin. So we got some potential short squeezes coming here. He says, holy S, there's so much liquidity building. Oh, this is for XRP. Building up on XRP's perps. At $1, there's $38 billion in longs. So we have a strong level of support at $1 for XRP, guys. There's $38 billion in longs sitting there betting further continuation to the upside. So it's going to be hard to fall below $1 again anytime soon on XRP. He said there's a total of 338 billion shorts from $1.10 to $1.19. This looks like a launch pad. Either a lot of retail are shorting or institutions are ready. So absolutely crazy, guys. Check this out. Look at all of that. Look at it all. All the the brighter it gets, the more volume there is there, right? The more leverage there is. That is a lot, guys. So there's a lot of shorting going on XRP at a little over $1.10. So here's the thing, guys. If we see XRP break above and close above $1.10 to $1.19, we're going to see a massive short squeeze on XRP. Massive short squeeze on it, right? So what I would say is that the bulls and bears are really going to be fighting on that level, right? The bulls are going to be trying to defend it, otherwise they get liquidated, right? And the bears, and the bulls are going to be trying to push through to get that short squeeze so that we can see a massive run to the upside on XRP. So yeah, very, very bullish, guys. Very, very bullish. Speaking of which, we also have a liquidation alert. $2.89 billion worth of BTC shorts will get liquidated at $100,000. That's why I was telling you guys this morning. I say it in every video when I'm looking at TA charts for Bitcoin, is that $100,000 is going to be extremely hard to get through, guys. It is a very strong psychological level for Bitcoin. And I see a lot of content creators saying, oh, we're going to smash through $100,000. No, we're not. It's going to take a while to break through there, right? There's a lot of shorting. Look at how much shorts are there. $2.89 billion worth of shorts. You think that the bears are not going to defend that level with their lives? You think they want to get liquidated for almost $2.9 billion, right? They're going to defend that with their lives. And the bulls are going to fight back and try to get that short squeeze, because if eventually we will get that short squeeze, don't misunderstand. Eventually we will. That's going to skyrocket Bitcoin's price probably to $108,000, $110,000, something like that, maybe even higher in the near term. So So yeah, but 100K is not going to be that easy to break through. So keep that in mind. This is just amazing. So I have to show it, guys. The Pentagon failed another audit. Here's the head of the Pentagon. John Stewart was talking to her. She says, "You're really." She was asked about, "You're really concerned about the money," or she says, "You're really concerned about the." Listen to this. Listen to this. It's like $800 and something billion that are unaccounted for at the Pentagon.
To be doing, like, there is a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse within a system.
Audits and waste, fraud, and abuse are not the same thing. So let's decompose these.
Please educate me on
sure.
What
so an audit is exactly what you just described,
yes.
which is, do I know what was delivered to which place?
Right.
The ability to pass an audit, or the fact that the DoD has not passed an audit, is not suggestive of waste, fraud, and abuse. That is completely false right there. So
what is
now is a question of, it's suggestive that we don't have an accurate inventory that we can pull up of what we have where. That is not the same as saying we can't do that because waste, fraud, and abuse has occurred.
So in my world,
yeah,
that's waste.
How is that waste?
If I give you $1 billion and you can't tell me what happened to it, that to me is wasteful. That means you are not responsible. But if you can't tell me where it went, then what am I supposed to think? And when there has been reporting, I mean, this is not, look, I'm not saying this is on you and that you caused this, but I think it's a tough argument to
I'm pretty
make
sure
that
I didn't cause it.
an $850 billion budget to an organization that can't pass an audit and tell you where that money went, like, I think most people would consider that somewhere in the realm of waste, fraud, or abuse, because they would wonder why that money isn't well accounted for. And especially when they see food insecurity on military bases, and they see.
You want to talk about that? Because that's a good. We should be talking. I mean,
Well,
I'm trying to understand where you're trying to go, other than the dollars, which really bother you.
Right now?
I think it doesn't really bother me. I think it's all connected.
Okay.
I think
tell
look,
me that story. Tell me how you're thinking about that.
When I see a State Department get a certain amount of money and a military budget be 10 times that, and I see a struggle within government to get people like more basic services, and then that department that got that, I mean, we got out of 20 years of war and the Pentagon got a $50 billion raise. Like, that's shocking to me. Now, I may not understand exactly the ins and outs and the incredible magic of an audit, but I'm a human being who lives on the earth and can't figure out how $850 billion to a department means that the rank and file still have to be on food stamps. Like, to me, that's fucking corruption. I'm sorry. And if that blows your mind, and if you think like that's like a crazy agenda for me to have, I really think that that's institutional thinking, and that it's not looking at the day-to-day reality of the people that you call the greatest fighting force in the world. So I get back to this idea of like, I'm not looking to pick a fight with you, but I am surprised at that the reaction to these questions are, you don't know what an audit is, bucko. Like, that's just weird to me.
Okay.
Just calls her right out. That is fantastic, guys. He's absolutely right. Like, it's insane that amount of money is just missing with no explanation whatsoever. Like, are you kidding me right now? And she talks about it like it's like, oh man, what's the big deal? What are you talking about here? Like, who cares, right? Like, she kept trying to change the subject and stuff. So how much will Bitcoin's price see in November? Here are the odds according to forecasts. With Bitcoin trading around $91,000 and rising rapidly following the election, the crypto world is awash with speculation about how high the largest cryptocurrency can go. Prediction markets and leading analysts are offering a range of predictions that underscore Bitcoin's potential in a bullish environment. On Polymarket, a leading crypto-based prediction platform, users are optimistic about Bitcoin's performance in November. The 72% rate increase that Bitcoin will reach $95,000. Here we go. The probability of Bitcoin reaching $105,000 is 23%. We're talking about in November here, guys. And the probability of it reaching $110,000 is 14%. A separate trading shows that there's a 60% chance that Bitcoin will stay above $90,000 by November 22nd. Meanwhile, other prediction markets show more long-term confidence. There's a 52% chance that Bitcoin will exceed $125,000 by 2026. There's a 44% chance that Bitcoin will reach $150,000 or more. Wall Street strategist and FudStrat Global Advisor co-founder Tom Lee, whose 2023 stock market prediction are among the most accurate, in continuing his bullish outlook on Bitcoin, while his March prediction of $150,000 by the end of the year now looks less certain. He told CNBC that last week that it is still plausible for Bitcoin to reach six figures. Quote, post-halving, Bitcoin becomes much more important, and with the lower regulatory barriers, there is significant upside from here. Bitcoin, which is already up 32% in November, only needs to climb another 10% to reach the $100,000 milestone. Again, you guys know how I feel about it. I don't think hitting $100,000 is going to be as easy as they suppose. What else do we got here? Hedge funds will be investing more in crypto over the next few weeks. Key findings: digital asset investments rise as regulatory clarity and ETFs boost confidence. Nearly half, 47% of traditional hedge funds are surveyed, and 33% plan to invest more capital by the end of 2024. Big money still coming in, guys. Also, Beebs, this one's for you, buddy. As always, KASPA, new listing for KASPA on Bitconomy.com, another centralized exchange, more liquidity coming into the asset class. To go with more big money coming in, guys, the big boys are adopting blockchain quietly, but in big size.
See in that space in particular over the next year?
Well, as you mentioned, it's also yield-bearing stablecoins. Stablecoins kind of has a wider definition, which also is a problem because we need to narrow that definition for people to really create standards and grow. But money market funds that are tokenized, we've seen that already come to fruition in two different places. First, Franklin Templeton, they created this, call it Benji app, where they've tokenized a money market fund. And interestingly, because it was tokenized in such an easy to use interface, that particular money market fund actually within the first month doubled their assets because everyone was using it because it's so easy to use, and there was an interest in getting more yield at the same time. JP Morgan, working with BlackRock, they've also tokenized a money market fund. So that's a perfect example of like adoption, product market fit, and unfortunately it goes below the fold in terms of the search engine headlines because everyone's so focused on just hardcore crypto stuff. Whereas the, call it big boys are actually adopting the blockchain technology below the fold and quietly, but in big size.
We've been saying it for a couple of years now, guys, that the big boys are coming to play, right? Big money's coming in. The toothpaste is out of the tube. Vivek Ramsey says the entire government agency will be axed under DOGE.
I want to get your take on how this begins. Yes, sure. What are you looking to cut right from the beginning?
So first is we want to go right in through executive action to do the failures of the executive branch that need to be addressed. Because the dirty little secret right now, Maria, is the people we elect to run the government, they're not the ones who actually run the government. It's the unelected bureaucrats in the administrative state. That was created through executive action. It's going to be fixed through executive action. Think about the Supreme Court's environment over the last several years. They've held that many of those regulations are unconstitutional at a large scale. Rescind those regulations, pull those regs back, and then that gives us the industrial logic to then downsize the size of that administrative state. And the beauty of all of this is that can be achieved just through executive action without Congress. score some early wins, and then you look at those bigger portions of the federal budget that need to be addressed one by one. So I think that's one way to think about this is how can the president of the United States, who's been elected with a historic mandate, actually do the thing that the voters have voted for? They haven't voted for incremental change here this time, Maria. We have voted for sweeping change, and the voters actually deserve to get it. And we're focused on how to do that as early and as quickly as possible.
So President-elect Trump just said on that soundbite that you're going to make recommendations. So you're going to make recommendations in terms of where to cut after all that you've just said. Then what?
Look, we're not going to be cutting ribbons. We're going to be cutting costs. And so those recommendations are going to be on a real-time basis. But I do want to take a big step back and understand, for people to understand the scope of this problem. Over $500 billion that's spent every year right now was not even authorized by Congress in the first place. The Pentagon has just failed its 7th consecutive audit, nearly $1 trillion of budget. They can't even tell you where it goes. So I think part of this is exposing for the public the extent of that rot and waste, but then to take steps first through executive action and then laying the groundwork for broader change through legislation as well to rein in that deficit, to rein in that budget. And more crucially, Maria, I know we're talking about this in terms of efficiency, but there's something deeper going on here. This is about restoring self-governance and accountability in America as well.
Are you expecting to close down entire agencies, like President Trump has talked about the Department of Education, for example? Are you going to be closing down departments?
We expect mass reductions. We expect certain agencies to be deleted outright. We expect mass reductions in force in areas of the federal government that are bloated. We expect massive cuts among federal contractors and others who are overbilling the federal government. So yes, we expect all of the above. And I think people will be surprised by, I think, how quickly we're able to move with some of those changes, given the legal backdrop the Supreme Court has given us.
You have been terminated. Get to the chopper. Oh, man, this is going to be exciting. Michael Saylor explains how God's bank would use something like Bitcoin.
Being did. Now, God comes down from heaven above, and God says, okay, I've decided to solve your problem. I'm going to run a bank in heaven. I'm going to issue 21 million God coins, and they're infinitely dividable. And I'm just going to go ahead and do this for you for just about nothing. And you can telepathically move the coins between each other to pay off your debts. And I'm going to make sure that no bank, no government, no counterparty, no country, no criminal takes your money away from you. And I promise never to inflate it. I'm just going to, so there's your money. There's your bank. It's a bank in heaven. Right. And a person can hold a gun to your head, but you've got the money in your head, and the angels will, protect you. They might murder you, but they're not getting your money. So if I thought about that, I'm thinking, okay, God is going to run an honest bank for me. Okay, good. That's probably good. But in the absence of God offering to run the bank, and protect your property rights forever from everybody, the next best idea is we create a piece of software using cryptography, and then the software instantiates in the protocol 21 million coins subdividable by 100 million, so 2.1 quadrillion satoshis. Which is effectively enough. You could subdivide it more if you needed to. We create that system, and now you can send 1,000, 100, a million, a billion, 10 billion, $100 billion worth of that from anybody to anybody without asking anybody's permission using a computer. You can hold $1 million in your head, $1 billion in your head. You can hold it in your hand. If you know you're going to get arrested, you can just zap it to your sister in Singapore. If you don't trust the bank in New York, you can put it with the bank in London. Right. And if you don't trust any bank, you self-custody. That's Bitcoin.
That's Bitcoin, baby. That's crypto, right? That is crypto. All right. Got quite a few videos to get through today. All right. Coin Bureau. Is ETH becoming more user-friendly? Guys, my thoughts on this beforehand is that they say this every cycle. Almost every year they say this. Oh, this upgrade is going to make Ethereum affordable and it's going to make it faster and gas fees are going to go down. They say this all the time, and it never has changed.
With a bit of luck, Petra's upgrades could lead to improvements around Ethereum's narrative due to its added functionality, something that institutions are missing. Most importantly, though, Pectra's upgrades would make Ethereum more competitive with other layer 1s like Solana, which have basically been eating its lunch this year. Consider that most of these layer 1s already have the account abstraction features that Ethereum is currently lacking, such as being able to sign a permission and execute a single transaction in one click instead of 3. From our perspective, UX is the one area where Ethereum is most seriously lacking, so much so that even hardcore ETH holders have started acknowledging that Ethereum needs to catch up on this front. Again, this is exactly what Pectra should do, and there's a good chance that ETH's price will reflect that as a result. A user-friendly Ethereum is exactly what everyone wants and needs. With a bit of...
Here's the thing, guys. Until Ethereum gets their gas fees under control, they can put lipstick on a pig all they want, but it's still a pig, okay? If you have not been around for a bull run yet, guys, in the last bull run, gas fees on Uniswap for Ethereum were over $1,000 in a lot of transactions. That's insane, right? So they can pretty things up with all the upgrades they want. People are not going to pay $1,000 gas fees when they could just use it for, you know, have lower gas fees on Solana, on Avalanche, on HBAR, on Algorand, right? Like, they're not going to do that. They're not going to pay $1,000. We're going to pay a fraction of a cent. It doesn't make sense, right? Ethereum is going to die if they do not get this fixed. Institutions are not going to pay thousands of dollars per transaction when they can pay a couple of cents. Think about it logically, right? What else do we got? This is the first time in Bitcoin's history that exchange reserves are declining during a bull run. They're reaching new all-time lows, guys. Again, it piggybacks on what I said earlier in the stream. The amount of Bitcoin that is going to be available for purchase continues to drop dramatically, guys. Dramatically. We've got some more from Michael Saylor. He says, I will be buying the top of Bitcoin forever.
Let's talk about your existing holdings. As I mentioned in the intro, now worth around $10 billion. You have paper gains of about 70% or so, which a lot of people would like to see that sort of return. At any point, would you sell? When would it make sense to take profits there?
Well, I've famously said I'm going to be buying the top forever. Bitcoin is the exit strategy. It is the strongest asset. So what we see right now is the Bitcoin has just emerged as a $1 trillion asset class. And it's alongside names like Apple and Google and Microsoft. But the difference between Bitcoin and the Magnificent Seven is Bitcoin's an asset class. It's not a company. There's not enough room in the capital structure of those companies to hold $10 trillion or $100 trillion worth of capital. So Bitcoin's competing against gold, which is 10x what it is right now. It's competing against the S&P index. It's competing against real estate, $100 trillion plus asset class as a store of value. So we believe capital is going to keep flowing from those asset classes into Bitcoin because Bitcoin is technically superior to those asset classes. And that being the case, there's just no reason to sell the winner to buy the losers.
I played a video in yesterday's live stream where it was just like a montage of Michael Saylor letting out a big sigh before he starts talking. Every time one of these interviewers asks him to explain Bitcoin, it's like he feels like he's talking to idiots all the time, right? It's absolutely amazing. Oh, man. All right, what do we got? BTC price issues include 70K dip despite Bitcoin whale accumulation. Bitcoin risks short-term issues on its route to six figures, including a correction of nearly $70,000. In one of its quick take market updates on November 16th, on-chain analytics platform CryptoQuant said Bitcoin's price action may see some healthy cooling. Bitcoin continues to circle $90,000 as week-to-date gains approach 13% into the weekly close, joining those suggesting that the new consolidation phase could come for BTC USD. CryptoQuant contributor Boro Virtual put the potential downside target at about $70,000. The reason, it argues, lies in two moving averages, trend lines now nearly 20% apart. The position of the price chasers, 7-day and the 30-day MAs, indicate that we are seeing intense, healthy buying pressure on Bitcoin, which is very positive signal, the Post stated. An accompanying chart puts the rate of BTC price upside over the past week in context, with a record-breaking $9,000 daily candle on November 11th alone. It actually wicked down. It was at one point, it was at $11,000. Explaining why bulls could temporarily run out of steam, CryptoQuant drew comparisons to previous runs towards all-time highs. As Cointelegraph reported, the idea that the bull run will pause before $100,000 hits is far from new. And I've been saying this for a while, guys. I said it today in this stream, that $100,000 is not going to be so easy to break through as people suppose. CryptoQuant, some see a long-awaited retest of the newly won support levels, while bearish opinions see the chance of BTC / USD crushing to $50,000. Yeah, okay. CryptoQuant data nonetheless shows that investor conviction remains solid at current levels, with whales of all classes accumulating through new all-time highs. I think we could see a new $50,000 Bitcoin again, probably a little bit lower than that, in the bottom of the next bear market. Quote, it's interesting to note that the balance of new whales, which has increased rapidly, and could also indicate that more whales have been created recently. So bigger, more whales are jumping in, guys. This is more institutional adoption. Big money starting to come in. They're starting to feel more comfortable. And Coin Bureau says right now BlackRock's IBIT ETF holds a record 471,328 Bitcoin. Now, to put that into context, guys, and I've said this metric before, in January, there was about 400,000 Bitcoin available OTC, all right? There's only about 110,000 Bitcoin left OTC. So in 10 months, BlackRock accumulated 471,328 Bitcoin, okay? You're telling me that in the next couple of months, they can accumulate 110,000, and then what? Then there's no more Bitcoin OTC. They have to start buying on exchanges like everybody else, right? Then what happens to the price? It skyrockets, right? Now, I got a special video here for you guys, courtesy of my friend Neo Sun. He says, why will JASMY use Edge AI and Cloud AI to secure data in its ecosystem? NVIDIA and SoftBank provide some answers. The Japan will be at a level we can't even imagine. JASMY and Janction will be a part of this revolution. Do you think that the doctor and CTO of Janction has conducted research at the National Institute of Informatics of Japan to make declaration of the project. Anyway, guys, listen up to this.
Yeah, Masa, one of the things that we announced today together is building the AI grid of Japan.
Yeah, yeah.
And the AI grid will have AI factories for developing the AI models. It'll have AI RAN to distribute the AI models all over Japan. The architecture of the AI factory and the AI RAN that we worked on together is revolutionary.
Yep.
The world has nothing like this. Japan will be the world's first.
Yeah, every other telco have to follow this new wave.
Yep. And how do you imagine this AI grid will revolutionize AI here in Japan?
Yeah, as you just mentioned, our cell towers used to just carry bits for the telecommunication and internet surfing and so on. However, now with this intelligence network that we densely connect each other, become one big neural brain, right? For the infrastructure of intelligence for Japan. That would be amazing.
Yeah, yeah, and of course, you could use it for your subsidiaries like Line and Yahoo Japan and
PayPay.
That's right.
Yep.
And so
All
you'll
of the
create
other-
AIs to make all of your services more enjoyable and more useful to your consumers.
Yes.
But one of the things that I'm very excited about is making this resource available so that researchers and students, startup companies, can flourish here in Japan.
Yes, definitely. And with your support, we are creating the largest AI data center here in Japan, which I'm talking with Miyakawa that we should provide this platform to many of those researchers, the students, the startups, so that we can encourage with, we're trying to subsidize so that they have a better access, much more compute.
Yeah. Well, building infrastructure is very capital intensive.
Yes.
And you're making a very big bet on Japan.
Yes. I think we have to revive this passion with the robotics, bring the AI, as you say, bring AI intelligence into the robotics. The Astro Boys, in Japan we call Tetsuan Atom, my favorite cartoon. You cannot just have the muscle. You have to have an intelligence so that the robot can talk, robot can have a passion as a friend. I think that kind of front end, challenges is very, very needed here.
Yeah, yeah. I think the software era is now. The good news is that this is the beginning of a new era.
Yeah, reset. Once more reset. Reset button.
That's right. The industry is in reset.
Yes.
And you could see that the entire stack is being reset because the companies of the last generation are not doing so well in this new generation.
That's right.
And so there's an emergence of a whole new stack, a whole new opportunity.
Yep.
Japan must take advantage. Must take advantage of this time. And artificial intelligence is very different than software.
Right.
Artificial intelligence requires that you have data, that you have domain expertise.
Yes.
If you are an artist, you have domain expertise.
Exactly.
If you develop video games, you have domain expertise. If you look for drugs, you discover drugs, you have domain expertise. If you have domain expertise, you can describe your expertise in data. That data could be used to train an AI model. Yep. That AI model becomes your artificial intelligence.
That's right. At least Japanese government is not trying to, depress this AI revolution. Some of the other countries, they try to be overprotective of the intelligence, artificial intelligence, so that regulation goes a little crazy. Here in Japan, at least we are lucky that this time, Japanese government seems not, trying to depress. At least no handicap. Okay, so I think but they should encourage more. They should encourage more. As you said, this is the reset. This is the catch-up moment for this new revolution. We can't miss this time.
Cannot miss this time. And of course, in order to be part of the AI revolution, you need infrastructure.
Right.
This type of software, because it's machine learning.
You're going to buy a lot of your chip.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
and you need infrastructure. You need AI factories.
Yes.
Without the infrastructure, it's not possible to create AI.
Totally.
And that's the reason why SoftBank is building the AI grid in Japan.
Yes.
And you will catalyze, you will activate, you will turbocharge all of the activity that's here already.
We're going to show by our example.
Yeah. And hopefully, today we have 350 startups in Japan.
Yes.
350 startups that we work with out of 22,000 in the world.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
That's right.
And so we must encourage the young entrepreneurs, the innovators,
Yeah.
to jump, to leap, to engage AI. The infrastructure is coming.
So we have Line, we have Yahoo and other services, PayPay. We can make many specific AI agents for helping Japanese lifestyle. That cannot just come from US. We know about Japanese behaviors, the cultures, local intelligence and APIs to many sites in Japan. So that I think agents, I think you mentioned about enterprise AI agents. Definitely I support that. I'm excited about that. But also, I think personal agents will really come to every one of us. I think now we should say AI agents to everybody. So each of us should have our own personal agents.
That's right.
That will help make our plans for trip, vacations, right? Educations.
And it follows you your whole life.
Yeah.
Could you imagine an AI agent that knows you your whole life? One of the things
interesting
that countries are awakening to is that the data of their country, their citizens' data, encodes the country's knowledge, its culture, its intelligence. And that data belongs to the country. Like it's national resources.
National security. National security. So
and that country, every country, should process that data, process and turn it into its AI for its own people.
Totally.
Makes no sense to outsource that to somebody else.
No. This is very important. It's a sovereign data center.
Yeah.
That each sovereign, each country, each government have to have migrate their national security data into their own data center, AI data center. That becomes the something that you have to have in your own country. Each country have to have national security, data security. I think that will become regulated to each protection of each countries.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Imagine having an AI follow you around your whole life, knows you inside and out. That would be absolutely fascinating. I'm definitely interested in that. I am interested in that. All right, guys, back over to the Bitcoin chart. Let's get back into the chat, see what everybody's talking about. WF Capital in the house. My main man, first one in the chat. Guys, as always, please make sure you hit the like and subscribe to the channel. It's free and it helps us grow and it means everything, okay? Thomas in the house. What's up, buddy? Green tea. It's funny. I love the name because every live stream I drink green tea. It gives me energy. I love it. David, what's up, brother? William, what's up, my man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Jetpack. What's the word? Nicholas, many will be above 4 cents in 2 weeks. Yes, exactly. Jasmine, I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant, brother. Even when Bitcoin gets to $1 million, I don't think I will ever sell it. I will always use it for hedging. Yeah, hey, it's not a bad idea, right? It's not a bad idea because you can actually take you will actually likely be able to take loans out against it, right? So, yeah, maybe it's just a good idea to just hold it, right? If you watch XRP go to $1.20 and you think, I feel attacked. I feel attacked. Can we get Jasmy to all-time high? Not this bull run, maybe the next one, but not this one. Isaac, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Magic Powers in the house. Aman, what's up, buddy? Good afternoon, man. Good afternoon. Good to see you. Tiger, do you think Jasmy still has a chance to break 5 cents resistance by the end? Oh, of course. Of course. Could do it by the end of the month. Very Yes, I agree. He is. Junior, hey, I have a question. What's up, man? What's your question, brother? I got you covered. Ask your question. Hopefully the RL USD comes on ETH and lowers fees. Maybe, yeah. Well, I think they're talking. It's going to be on Cardano, right? See, that's another thing, Jetpack, that I find very fascinating is that we actually are now starting to see a bit of a coalition forming. Like, we haven't seen the age of acquisitions and mergers in crypto yet, like you see in the stock market. We've seen it once with ASI, right? Fetch AI, Singularity Net, and Ocean. But outside of that, we haven't really seen much of that. So we may start to see that kind of stuff, right? We're seeing Cardano and XRP, like Ripple and HBAR, and I think a couple of others are starting to kind of like work together here and form these coalitions. I think you're going to start to see more of acquisitions and mergers like that start to happen in crypto to create bigger companies. I think you're going to start to see that kind of stuff. So yeah, that could be a nail in the coffin for Ethereum, right? If that is the case, right? You get these projects like XRP, like Ripple XRP, the XRP Ledger, Cardano's Layer 1, HBAR's tech. Like, you start to get all of these companies coming together and working together. Ethereum doesn't really stand much of a chance, right? Bitcoin, an asset that keeps going up and that you can borrow against. Sell or no? Exactly. That guy on the left always has a leather jacket on. Astro Boy. Yes, I grew up watching Astro Boy. Excited for your live stream tonight with XCN. Yes, Wes actually messaged me. He will be on, but he'll have to be on from his phone because he's on vacation with his family. So he will still be joining us this evening at 8. So I think XCN is on the brink of around 100% move. I agree. It's on the brink of a breakout. I actually did a video last night showing the TA on Onyx Coin. I would say go watch that. We've already broken above resistance. We need to close a weekly candle above resistance on Onyx Coin. Dumb Money, what's up, man? I'll wait on XRP to hit 3 to 5. De Niro, not a bad idea, brother. Shane, what's up, buddy? Hey, Rob, are you available for a one-on-one today, or is it a busy day for you? My next availability for a one-on-one is going to be Wednesday afternoon, Shane. Just shoot me a DM, and I'll get you in on Wednesday if you're available. Yes, we are going to be live over on the Patreon in a little bit, Dumb Money. We are going to be live today. So yeah, guys, get over to the Patreon. We're going to be live over there. We do live group Zoom calls over there. Join us and join the conversation, guys. You're missing out if you're not over there. You can also schedule one-on-ones with me as well, where you can get help with your portfolio structure. Guys, if you don't have a plan in place yet for taking your profits and you're just kind of winging it right now, now is the perfect time to get over to the Patreon, because you're going to end up getting wrecked. What is risky? What is like the regret of not being able to take your profits because you didn't know how to set sell orders at liquidity left and identify liquidity? The regret of that and having to hold your altcoins through another bear market for 4 years is going to be absolutely horrible, guys. Do not put yourself through that. Now's the perfect time to join the community. Get over to the Patreon. The link is in the description. It's in the pinned comments. It's in the chat, so get over there for sure. Junior says, my question keeps getting passed over. I don't see a question, my friend. All I see from you in the chat is this here. Hey, I have a question. And then I see my question keeps getting passed over. And then I see look in the chat. That's all I see, my friend. I promise you. That's all I see. Let me go to a different chat, see if I can find it. No, I have no question popping up from you, man. Try typing it in again. I promise you, I only see 3 messages from you, and I just showed you all 3 of them on the screen. I'm not ignoring your question, man. I don't know why it's not popping up. Good old reliable YouTube, right? Try popping it in there again, because I don't see anything yet in terms of a question, my friend. Okay, what else do we got here? While we're waiting for that question, see if anybody else has anything. Link and Jasmy, please, buddy. Yes, I am big fans of both Chainlink and Jasmy, man. I got Jasmy chart right here. I always have the Jasmy chart is up live on my computer like almost every day, all day long, right? I'm watching it all day long. So yeah, see, David said the same thing. He says your question's probably getting flagged. I don't see it. He doesn't see it either. I don't see any question from you, my friend. I promise you, I don't see any question. I would never ignore your question, David Jr. I would never do that to you, brother. David says my Nano S battery went on me. Is there a way to fix it? Oh, I don't know, man. I couldn't tell you. What I would do is I would check on YouTube, man. See if there's anything on YouTube. I usually find some pretty good tutorials. Look up tutorials for the Nano S battery. Sorry. I do know. Sorry, I lied to you, man. So I ran into this problem on Ledger as well. And there is actually, if you Google it, just Google Ledger battery issue. And there is a procedure. It's like a 4-step procedure you can do to fix it. It's really simple, so don't sweat it. I actually had to do something like that about a year ago. And that's why I always tell people, make sure you keep your Ledger Nanos charged every like 2 months, charge it. So yes, David, there is a way. Google Ledger Nano battery issue, and there will pop up a 4-step, I think it's like a 4-step solution to your problem, my friend. Absolutely. Jetpack says, get in the Patreon, do it. Don't do this alone. Yes, exactly. Junior must have something to do with that crypto that I'm asking for. Must be that good that I keep getting flagged. Yeah. Put the ticker in, but put a space between each letter. Try that, man. Just put the ticker in. Like if it's like XCN, just put like X space C space N or something, right? And see if it pops up that way or something. I'll have a look at it for you, man. Thanks, Rob. Hey, Dave. No problem, brother. I always got you covered, man. I always got you covered. Okay, so I'm just waiting for that so I can help out Junior, and then that's the news today, guys. So, yeah, guys, make sure you get your butts over to the Patreon. I will be live over there shortly. Again, we do live Zoom calls every single day, groups. We all chat together. We also book one-on-ones with you and stuff. If you need help with your portfolio, all that stuff, get over there, guys. Robert says, still bullish on Jasmy. Seems to be lagging at the moment. Is it your most bullish play? I mean, it's a hard question to answer if it's my most bullish. It is one of my most bullish. I'll put it this way for you. Jasmy is probably the only project. Well, maybe Quant as well. But Jasmy is one of the only projects that I'm only selling 50% of my bag. The rest I'm holding through the next bear market. Does that answer your question? Maybe. IO.net. That's a ticker. Let me see if I could find a ticker here. IO. Oh, yeah. IO.net. Yeah, I got it. I got you. I'll put it on the screen here. All right, so what's your question with this project, man? $275 million market cap. I'm not crazy about the tokenomics, man. I'm not going to lie. The tokenomics do not arouse my my excitement. It is an AI play, though, on Solana, so that's good. D-pin play. Nice. All-time high was 5 months ago, $6.43. It's got a Binance listing. KuCoin. What else do we got? L Bank. Okay, Radium. Yeah, it's got some decent listings. You need like a crypto.com listing, a Coinbase listing still and stuff like that. Let's go over to the live chart. Let's have a look at the live chart, man. If it loads. There we go. There we go. Give me that live chart action. Is it on Coinbase? Okay. Perfect. Let's go to the daily. I don't want no 15-minute chart. Yeah, it's been in quite a while. It's been in quite a long consolidation here. It's trying to make a little bit of a run. Tried to break out a little bit, came back down, setting higher highs and higher lows on the daily. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like that it's on Solana. I like the narrative behind it, DPIN and AI. I don't like the tokenomics on it though. The tokenomics, it's like only like 20% of the supplies in circulation. I don't like that. That would keep me away from it personally. Everything else about the project I do like, except for that. So if you can find your way around the tokenomics of it and you still like it, then the fact that it's a new project as well is pretty good. So, but yeah, that the tokenomics on it would keep me away from it personally. But that's just me. I'm just crazy like that. All right, guys, listen, that's the news. That's the chat. We're all caught up. Get over to the Patreon. I will be live over there shortly, and schedule your one-on-ones with me and join our group Zoom calls, guys. We'd love to have you. And yeah, like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys later.